All right, I think we've back. All right, y'all. Come on back in the building. I do apologize for the technical difficulties because that wasn't expected. All right, y'all. That wasn't expected. I had to change computers. All right, I appreciate y'all coming back. Um, hey, how are you, Sharon? Listen, I mean, thank you. I think you're coming back. Welcome back. Hey, Morgan Avoid, Sharon, thank y'all for coming back. Listen, I'm so sorry. I did not know that the technical difficulties was going to take us out. But just like in real life, things happen, and we're going to persevere, and we're going to get this done. So yeah. Hey, hola, Tina. All right, H Town. No worries. All right, we're back. I hope the people come back. But even if they don't come back, even if they thank you so much. Even if they don't come back, we're gonna still do it. We're gonna still, do it. But we'll give people a minute to come back. And if you want to drop, I'm going to. If anybody wants to join me on the broadcast, I'm gonna drop the link here inside of here, and yeah, we'll make sure, and we'll go from there. So all right, y'all. So tonight, back at it again. I hope the people come back. But we're going to talk about 10 reasons the devil is a liar. Amen. I know they'll come back. Thank you, Tina. I appreciate the encouragement. I appreciate that. They'll come back. You know what? Because listen, in life, things don't always work out. Well, think about it like this. In life, things rarely work out exactly the way you plan it. It rarely does. There is no straight line to any goal. There are always going to be obstacles in there. And so because we had to get off, because we had technical difficulties, somebody may come, the people will come back. But even if they don't come back, it doesn't, what matters right now to me is that the people who are here are the ones that we're going to teach. All right. So what I wanted to say, like I was saying before my technical part went out, was um, the lady that was in my group that who actually is in a relationship. She followed the advice that I'm about to give you, and she said, I am going to withhold sex until I get to know him. And I specifically trained her and the rest of my ladies on how you actually truly get to know somebody. And it is not based on how you feel at any given moment. And so now that she's in a serious relationship, now that she is back and she's en route to getting married in her late 40s, I felt like there is, because I decided that since I filmed the TV show, now I am going to help people. I'm going to go back to doing what I was doing. Now I put up content every day. Every day I have people to do that for me. I do the content, we put it up. Now, but getting in and showing people how this works, educating them, showing them that they need something different. That's what I want to do. Now, what I want you to do, it's some of the people may have come back. If you could tell me where you're calling in from, and where you where you check it in from, and your name. Some people probably came back, but if it was anybody new that didn't tell me where you were checking in from and your name, please do at this moment. Um, um, normally I would get a little riled up, get a little irritated because my technology failed and there was 70 people on viewing. But you know what? Tonight, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So what I'm going to do is we're going to have some fun. And so tonight, what I want to do, if anybody wants to talk to me, if you have a question, you need to come on, and you need to come. Oh, thank you, Sharon. You need to come on and you need to ask, and we can have the conversation. So I'm going to put the link. I'm going to put the link in the comments. So if you want to join me, hey, feel free. All right, and I'll let you on and we can have a conversation. Is that fair? But if you join, I'll put you on. So let's get busy. The first thing I want you to understand, in any relationship, there are three connections. All right. There is the mental connection, there is the physical connection, and then there is the emotional connection. All right. So the mental, let me break down what they are. The mental connection is the connection between you and him, or you and your partner. And that connection is all about, do we see the world the same? Do we have the same interests? Are our core values in alignment? And so that's the mental connection. All right, obviously, the physical connection is the synergy that we have because we're all sexual beings. Are we attracted to each other physically? And that includes intimacy and sex, and so all of that. Now, and then you have the emotional connection. The emotional connection is the connection where the people say, are we emotionally, do I feel like I'm emotionally connected to you? All right. All right. And so, hey, and so what we're going to talk about tonight, it's very important to understand how men and women think. All right. The first thing is understand this: the way men are wired, myself included, is that what we want to do is we want to get the physical connection first because we're loaded with testosterone. We are ignited by our physical senses. All right. And so it was just the way the creator made us, because he made us that way so that we would want to procreate. All right. That is the connection that we desire first. And so do not get mad at him because he wants sex from you, but you have the right to withhold the sex. I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, then you have what men want. That so ladies, not all ladies, but many ladies want the emotional connection. They want to say, so what they if they start liking a guy, there's like they begin thinking about what the future looks like. They begin thinking about, oh man, I like him. Then they start asking questions like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What is this? What's the label? What are we doing? And so now she wants the emotional connection, which many times he's not willing to give. And then he wants the physical connection. And then at first, she's not willing to give. All right. Now, watch this. Here's the dynamics of it. But I teach people the man isn't willing to give you the emotional connection first. I get it, because he's not emotionally connected. And so what you have to do, the woman has to do the exact same thing. She says, okay, we're not going to give the emotional connection. I'm not going to give the physical connection, but we both can focus on the mental connection. How do we see the world the same? Are we connected? Do we see the world, our core core values in alignment? All right. And so what I tell people is, I'm going to show you first. You got to understand there are three connections. Once you get the fact that there are three connections, now we can move forward. And so what happens to you, you get in a relationship. Does this sound familiar to anybody? Watch this. Does this sound familiar? You get in a relationship and he starts love bombing you. And he starts telling you everything that you want to hear. Oh, hey, beautiful. He texts you every morning and he says, how was your day? I hope you you had a great day. And he's doing all of the things and he's saying all of the things that you want to hear, right? And then all of a sudden, your emotions, you begin to get emotionally connected to him because these are the things you want to hear. And so now you begin to internalize all of those things and you're saying, and so what you start doing is what we call future pacing. Now, future pacing is when you begin to project in your mind into the future. You begin thinking about us being together. You begin thinking about us kicking it. You begin thinking about what's the possibility of us being married. So you begin to think about the future. And so what he does, he knows he knows that he begins to, as he's telling you these things, he knows that you're getting emotionally connected. All right. And so now he starts making innuendos about sex, right? Because he's saying, yeah, I'm interested in a relationship, or if you're the one, I'm interested in us finding out if we connect. And he's saying the things that your brain wants to hear. All right. Does that sound familiar? And all of a sudden, you're saying, okay, we're getting closer. And he starts putting the subtle pressure on you for the physical, for the sexual relationship. And you decide, because you're feeling emotional, you give in. And so now you have sex. All of a sudden, all of a sudden, the relationship talk. So now you're more enthralled in it because now that you're in it and now you had sex, let me tell you what happens. Now there is a release in your brain of oxytocin, a hormone, dopamine or hormone, and then we have serotonin. Let me explain what's happening. Once you have sex, the oxytocin is released. Oxytocin is what they call the bonding chemical. It is the same hormone that is released when a mother has a baby. They give the baby to the mother and the baby starts breastfeeding. That hormone is released so that the mother could bond with the baby. That is the reason why they give the baby to her initially. So then there is dopamine. So then the dopamine is the feel good hormone. Every time you feel good, it's the hormone that is released when his phone number comes up on the phone when he texts you. And so there's a release, an injection of dopamine. And now the serotonin makes you rest real easy. You feel real subdued about the relationship. Does this sound familiar to anybody? You ain't got to say, yeah, but I already know. And so what happens at that point is this. And so what happens is now you have this release of hormones and you're starting to feel a certain way because of this sex. And now he begins to pull away. He begins to stop talking about so much about the relationship, and the conversation is more about, when we gonna hook up. Why don't you just Netflix and chill? And then, or even he may not even call as much at all or text as much at all. And so you're feeling like, wait a minute, what did I do? What happened? What happened? What's going on? All right. So now all of a sudden, he's not the person you thought he was. And so you've had sex with him. And let me tell you what happened along the way. The reason why this scenario plays out hundreds and thousands of times every single day, because now he's no longer interested as much as he was. Okay, so let me tell you what happened on the other side, though. The other side is this, and this is why what I told my students and why they've been so successful is because I said, once you're in a relationship, think about the relationship like this. Whenever you're in a relationship, everybody has what we call a personal brand. A personal brand is much like big brands that we see, a brand name product. Each one of you are a brand name product. You have a personal brand. Now watch this. Much like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Prada, All of those are brands. Yeezy is a brand. Nike is a brand. And the reason why people pay the money they pay for those brands is because they believe those brands have a certain amount of value. Am I right? Okay. And so now what happens is when you have sex too soon, your brand gets diminished. Your brand does not have the same power, the same value that you wanted to have. And so now your brand, when you have sex too soon, is devalued. Now he's not willing to pay the cost that you'd like him to pay for the brand, right? He's not willing to invest what is necessary, what you feel is necessary for the brand, because the brand is inauthentic in his mind. The brand is not as valuable as you want it to be, so he's not willing to pay the cost. All because you decided that you wanted to have sex. And I'm not saying there is nothing wrong with sex. It's just that you did it too soon without understanding everything that needs to happen around it. Okay, is that fair? Now, so why would I say that? Because someone asked me recently. Someone said, "Coach, I like the guy. All right, we've been dating about 4 weeks. When should I have sex? As he's kind of pressing me about it, and I want to. And ooh, he is so fine. I want to have sex with him." I said, "Okay." I said, "Let me answer that question with a question." And she said, "Okay." I said, "What is your relationship goal?" And she said, "I want to have a relationship. I want to be in a committed relationship." I said, "Well, don't have sex. If your goal was just to have fun, if your goal if your goal was just to kick it, I'd say, hey, you grown. You are go for it. But if your goal is to have a committed relationship, then I would not, because your brand will get tainted, just like I said, will too soon. And so she was like, "Well, when should I?" I said, "Well, now we're getting into let me teach you." All right. And so what I want to do is I had to preface these 10 by telling you what actually happens when you do it too soon. Okay. So now I'm going to jump into the 10 reasons why you should make him wait. And I am going to tell you how long in a second. Because the question is, how long, coach? How long should I make him wait? How long? Okay, I'm gonna tell you. Now, what I want y'all to do, take your notes. Now, before I go into these 10, let me ask you this. How many of you all, I coach thousands of people. And I often wonder, I say to myself, and I said this before our broadcast went down, before my camera went out. Now, half of those people didn't come back, but that's okay, because I'm going to still teach with the other half. I mean, we had roughly 80 people on. We got 43 now. That's fine. And whoever comes, comes. But I want to ask you something. How many of you are tired? You're tired of dating the wrong guy. You're tired of being in relationships that don't work. You're tired of, and then you got all these, like I said, prognosticators, influencers out there who half of them are jumping on men. Men ain't shit. Men are this, men of that. And then you got the other half jumping on women. Women ain't shit. Gold diggers, this and that. And so what I say is, I am tired of that. I said, my goal, y'all, the reason why I'm growing so fast, because I still believe in love. I still believe I have one wife. I got one girlfriend and one side chick, and they all the same person. And so I've been married 21 years, and most of these people out here who are out here telling you what to do don't even have the thing that you desire. They're not in a relationship, y'all. I've saved 297 marriages, and the truth of the matter is, I've put thousands of people together. I don't say that to impress you. I say that to impress upon you that what I'm going to tell you tonight and what you see on my videos, whether you agree with me or not, it's real. I know what the hell I'm talking about. Y'all, I'm smart as shit. Let's keep it real. I'm not, I'm not one of those people who read shit on the internet and then I regurgitate it. That's not who I am. You know what? I've written 8 books. I've sold over 500,000 books. I understand human behavior. I understand human development. And I don't say that to brag. I say that to just to tell you I know what the hell I'm talking about. So let me say this. So before I get into the 10 reasons why, I need you to understand. All of you are great. All of you are great at your job. All of you are great at the things like your job. Now, think about this. How did you get great at your job? You got great because somebody trained you, because somebody mentored you. The thing is, y'all, is why is it that we expect in relationships, we get no training, we get no coaching, we get no mentoring, but we expect it to work. We expect to be good at something because we've never done it. How can you expect to be good at something you've never been trained on? How can you expect to be good at something that you've never been taught on how to communicate? You've never been taught on how to resolve conflict. You've never been taught on how to speak someone's love language, and you've never been taught how to work through adversity, yet you just expect it to work. That's not the way it happens, y'all. That's not the way it happens. And so tonight, what I'm going to do, if you want to be trained, if you want to be coached the right way, I'm not an influencer, y'all. I'm not an influencer. I tell people I'm not an influencer. I got 900,000 followers on all these platforms, but I'm not an influencer. I'm a real coach. Like when I did the TV show, I was telling the producers, I was like, look, I'm not just a coach on TV. I'm a real coach. And so the things that I say, it's about real live coaching. So if you want to do something different, you want to be coach, you want to learn, I just want you to put in the comment section, I do. I do. I do. And so the reason why, because it's always important for me to understand who wants to grow, who wants to grow. Because see, you know what? Because the truth of the matter is, it's easy to blame someone else. It's easy to blame your past relationship. you know, it's easy to blame people, y'all. That is not what I do. That is not what I do. I want everybody to level up. I want everybody to level up. And so for those of you who want to, you know what? I'm gonna show you how to. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to that I can coach you. But before we get there, let me jump right in. So 10 reasons that you should make him wait. 10 reasons that you should make him wait. Number one, and I wrote these down. Y'all, this is my list. I don't be playing. When I come for real. Number one, because you confuse lust with love. The first reason is you confuse lust with love. So let me explain what I mean by that. Remember, I told you about the hormones that are released, the oxytocin, the dopamine, and then the serotonin that is released when you have sex? See, what happens is when you have sex, especially if the sex is good, this cocktail, they call it a love cocktail. This love cocktail is released in your brain and it masquerades itself as love. And so now the lust masquerades as love. You think it's love, but it's not. It's an illusion. And so, because it's an illusion, you're thinking, I'm in love. I love this guy. Oh, I love this guy. This guy is the one. He's the one. He's the guy for me, right? But what happens is because you've had sex so soon, those hormones that are released, those hormones, listen to me carefully, those hormones make you bypass what we call the neocortex, the front of the brain, where your logical senses come into play. Right? And so now you're making straight decisions on your limbic part of your brain, which guides your emotions and emotions don't have a good track record in relationships. especially at the beginning when you're making decisions. And so once you bypass the limbic part, the neocortex, you can't make logical decisions. Now, all of the decisions you're making are emotional, driven by the love cocktail that is released in your brain. All right, does this make sense? And now here's what you start doing. You start, instead of, as he starts pulling back, pulling away from the relationship, because now he begins to breadcrumb you, what you do is you start doing more because you feel like if I do more, I'll get it back to where we were. If I do more, if I give him more sex, more dopamine is released. If I do this, if I pick up his kids, if I cook for him, if I do this, if I do more, I'm going to go back to where we were. And the truth is, you're not going back because now your brand is tainted. That's number one. Number two, waiting reveals the true person. The reason why I tell people to wait, and here's where I break down how long you should wait. When I tell people waiting reveals the true nature of the person. Now watch this. Now, this is where coach gonna get deep. This is where no other coach out there is gonna do what I'm about to tell you. Because I created this methodology around dating. All right. It's called the 2C methodology. C, C, 2C, right? The first C is called collect. The second C is called connect. You collect, then you connect. Let me explain what I mean. Because a lot of people who get in relationships, just like the one I just described, they never collected enough data. See, dating is simply collecting data. If you collect enough data, then you can determine whether or not you should connect. So the question is, you say, wait a minute, coach, how do I collect data? Because what a lot of people do is bypass the data collection phase and go straight to the connection. And then that's what happened when you had sex. You got the connection involved, but it was a physical connection, but it was nothing else. And so you connecting. And so what the connecting does, the connecting confuses you. You think that we're bonding, but we're not. We just have a physical connection that is based solely on physicality, solely on lust. And so I tell people, first thing you have to do while you make him wait is you collect data. And so let me explain how you collect data. All right. So here's how you collect data. All right. First off, first off, when you get in a relationship, what do? You ask questions, right? You ask questions like this. Hey, how many kids do you have? Where did you go to school? Where do you work? Where did you grow up? You ask what we call conscious minded questions. All right. Conscious minded questions are questions that are at the top of your conscious mind. You don't even have to think about them. Oh, I have two kids. I grew up in Atlanta. Oh, and so what happens is you try to create a connection with someone by asking conscious questions, but you will never get to know someone by asking conscious questions, right? So let me explain to you what that means. So what that means is I teach my people, I say, all right, you need to ask conscious, um, um, you need to ask um, subconscious questions. Now, subconscious questions are questions that are in your subconscious mind. Let me ask, let me allow me to continue. So, subconscious questions are questions like this. Tell me three things that you learned from your last relationship. All of a sudden, now this becomes a conscious question. A subconscious question. See, your subconscious question is a question that you have to go into your subconscious programming to actually answer, right? All right, so here's how that works. So you go into your subconscious programming. See, your subconscious mind, your subconscious programming controls 95% of your reality. It is the things, it's where your beliefs lie. It's where, it's, think of your subconscious programming like the computer program you operate off of. It is where all of the experiences, all of the wisdom relies, all of the things. So I'm going to break something down to you. Do you know from the age zero, the third trimester in your mother's belly, to you, to your 7 years old, okay? Um, 7 years old. Now, 7 years old, you have no subconscious programming. All right. You have no subconscious programming. Now, watch this. It is during that time you look to the world around you to determine what you should feel. So you have your parents, you look at their relationship, you look at the relationships around you, you look at everything. And so now, when you look at all of that, you're trying to determine your subconscious program is being cultivated, your program, your computer program that you're going to operate off of. So think about it. So if you've seen toxicity, if you've seen lack of communication, if you've seen cheating, if you've seen all of these things, now, when you've seen all of these things, what's going to happen? Those are the things that you're going to be programmed to when you get to be 20, 30, 40 years old. You're going to be done. That's how you're programming. And so, what I tell people is, you've got to be you got to understand how you actually get to the person, because that's where the true person is. And so when you begin asking subconscious questions like this, tell me about a dream that you have. Or tell me about a dream that you have that you've not realized, but this particular dream drives you to get up every morning. That's a subconscious question. Y'all, I got hundreds of them that I'm putting in my new book. Hundreds of subconscious questions, conscious questions that, listen, y'all, that help you get to know the person, because they cannot answer those questions at their conscious level. They have to answer it at the subconscious level. And if you understand how to ask questions, how to connect all of that, he's going to tell you who he is. And so when I tell people, make him wait, you wait, because when you wait, time, once you're collecting the data, it will reveal the true person. Ooh, coach, 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 coach. Number three, the third reason why you need to wait is because sex magnifies the anxious attachment style. If you got an anxious attachment style, if you have abandonment issues, if you have rejection issues, if you're worried about those things, when you have sex and he begins to pull away, when you have sex and he begins to pull away, what happens? You begin to say, what's going on with me? What's going on? If you have an anxious attachment style, it magnifies, it gets worse. You get worse. The anxiety inside of you gets magnified, and then you do stuff to, okay, are we okay? You text more, you call more, you want to show up, and you say, what's wrong with me? And then you begin to internalize with as an indictment on your character or who you are as a person. And so that's the thing. And so, y'all, listen to me. When I tell you what I'm telling you, I'm not just telling you what to do. I am telling you why to do it. All right? Because most people can tell you what to do, or they think they can tell you what to do, but they don't tell you why to do it. All right? Number four, the fourth reason is having sex too soon kills your self-esteem. It kills your self-esteem. Why? Because you internalize his behavior as an indictment to who you are. And so when you say he's pulling away, you say there must be something wrong with me. Am I not pretty enough? Am I not sexy enough? Do I not give you enough? And so then what happens is you feel like that you have come up short. And so what does it do? It perpetuates lower self-esteem, especially if you already have those issues permeating in your life. That's just going to be exacerbated, magnified, and then you go down the rabbit hole. And imagine if you do this 2 to 3 times, 4 times, y'all. Imagine this. What happens? Now you feel worthless. That's where you get into people not loving themselves. And then they meet me. Then they meet somebody like me, and I help restore them. I help them bring them back to where they were, where they need to be. It's a process, y'all. It is. But this is the part that it's going to take. All right. And so what I'm going to tell you is there is hope. There is hope because there that you can listen to me carefully. You can have the relationship you want. You can have it. You can have the desires of your heart, but you got to do the work. You know what? I believe the Bible when it said that faith without works is dead. I don't know what your spiritual beliefs are, but mine are that if I work, if I have faith and I do the work, then the things that I desire will come. All right. Number five. Number five is you just need to collect the data. You need to collect. It doesn't give you time. It doesn't give you time to collect enough data. So let me share this with y'all. All right. Let me share this with y'all. I've created a 5-day challenge. The 5-day challenge is called What She Said, What He Heard. Okay. The reason I created this 5-day challenge is because one of the main reasons is it's called What She Said, What He Heard, the art of communicating with a man. If I can teach you how to communicate, how to ask questions, how to get the man to open up, how to resolve conflict, now I set the stage for you to find out all of the information you need. And y'all, listen, I created this challenge because I get from people, the people that I've taught, they say, Coach, you taught me how to communicate with him. Because many people say that men don't communicate. It's not that. It's just that you don't know how to communicate with them. And so I created this challenge. It's a 5-day challenge. I'm going to do 10 hours of coaching. I'm going to take you from A to Z. If you're ready to start getting coached, let me tell you what I'm going to do after that. I'm creating this thing called the Relationship Academy. The Relationship Academy is going to be for men and women. I'm bringing together men and women in a place where we not only can we teach them, but we're going to have social stuff too. We're going to have speed dating. I believe in love. We're going to have something called the Relationship Clinic, where you can't bash people, but people can tell what people need to fix, y'all, and we're going to do it. I'm creating that right now, but it all starts at this class, this 5-day challenge. I'm going to put the link right here. I'm going to put the link in the comment section. For those of you, hold on, let me give you this link. Let me give you this link. For those of you who say, listen, Coach, I need to start. I want to start now. I want you to go, Joe. I'm putting it in the link right now. I want you to go join it right now. We already have 60 ladies who've already signed up. And so we're going to have 200 women sign up for this. I am going to show you how it ain't about bashing men. I'm not bashing anybody. I think we all need to level up. Yeah, there's some fucked up men out there, but there's some fucked up women out there too. I'm not about bashing people. I'm about creating the energy so you can manifest the relationship you want. I'm about training people, showing them how to get the things that they want. For those of you who say, Coach, you know what? I need that training. I need that 5. I need that. I'm going to be marketing it for the next week to the 24th on every platform that I'm on. All right. And so, y'all, listen, it ain't for everybody. I'm not everybody's coach, but I'm somebody's coach. And some people are going to say, well, you know what? Why should I learn how to communicate with him? What? When I hear that, I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it. Why should I learn how to communicate with him? The truth is, everybody needs to be better. Everybody. So I wanted to say that because, listen, y'all, we got to be better. For those of you who want to get better, those of you who want to get better, let's get better. All right. Number 6, why we need to wait to have sex is because sex masks problems. You ever heard people say, well, we got mad and then what do? We turned around and had some makeup sex. And we had makeup sex because that's the one area that we're great at. Our physical connection, that works. All right. That's the part that works. But it really, what it does is it masks the other problems that we have. And so now, once we get mad, we go in our corners, we don't talk, we have makeup sex, and then we never discuss the issues. We never resolve the conflict. We don't know how to get past it because we've never been trained on conflict resolution. And so it will mask it. Number 7. Oh, this is good. When I wrote this down, sex connects you to the wrong person. Y'all, what happens is sex connects you to the wrong person. So when the sex is good, you are confused. You think the relationship is good. You think everything else is good because you're measuring it. Look, you're looking at the relationship through the lens of the sex. That's never going to work. It's never going to work, y'all. And so, what I'm telling you is this right here. You got to be willing to collect the data so that you don't get in the situation. And then, once you get in it and you connect it to the wrong person, then you go down the rabbit hole, right? You go down the rabbit hole. And now it's fucked up. That's just what it is. Number 8. Watch this. Write this one down, y'all. This is powerful. Number 8. What a man gains too easily, he esteems too lightly. What a man gains too easily, he esteems too lightly. That simply means, at the end of the day, the reality is, if he gets it too quick, the truth is, y'all, he's not going to value it just like a brand, because we men understand that anything that is worth having is worth working for. They understand it. And so all I can say is, y'all, you can listen to these prognosticators out here. You can listen to people out here who don't know what they're talking about. You can listen to people out here, but just understand this. It's all about, there are good men out here. There are men out here who don't cheat. There are men out here who want to have a relationship. There is. And then there are men out here who write stupid comments like this guy down here. So that's the reason why you need to wait, so you don't meet people like this fool. All right. And so what I'm gonna say to you is, that's what you need to do. Number 9. Number 9. The reason why you need to wait is because you transfer of control. Before sex, you've got all the control. Women have the control. All right, I'm just going to be honest with you. Before you ever have sex, you have control. Here's why. Because if you withhold sex, eventually the man will reveal himself. He will reveal his intentions. If he ain't about being with you, it doesn't mean that a man won't want to have sex with you. It doesn't mean that. He might want to have sex with you, but he says, I'm willing to wait because I see that I value you more than that. I see there's another part of you. Doesn't mean he doesn't want it. It just means that he will. All right. And so what I'm saying is, after sex, the power of control shifts after. All right. And so that's all I'm saying. Y'all. So control. What in the world is this? It says error bot. That's a bot right there? What is that? All right, let's do this. Y'all, I don't know about all this. All right, so look, and last but not least, and I'm out of here. Less time wasted. You stop wasting time. You notice you get upset when you've wasted your time. And when you collect data the way that I teach you, you don't waste time, because he will reveal his intentions very quickly if you take sex off the table. And the question is, Coach, how long should I wait? I'm glad you asked. I know in Steve Harvey's book, he said, wait 90 days. Well, the truth of the matter is, you can wait 90 days, but you don't hardly talk to the dude. You've never connected with, you never collected enough data with him. So you don't know who he is, right? So waiting 90 days didn't do you any good. So here's what I say. I say you wait long enough till you've collected enough data to determine if you should connect. And collecting enough data determines if our values are in alignment. Are we in? I'm not saying do we just feel good together. I'm not saying do I just like him. Are your values in alignment? Does he see the world? Do your goals in alignment? Or do you value? What about trauma, conflict, therapy, all of those things, careers? Once you've gotten to the point where you are in alignment, then you determine, you know what? I want to explore that part of him. And I want him to explore that part of me. But by that time, he has invested time in you. He's invested resources in you. He's invested money in you. He's invested all of those things in you. And then it's okay to connect at that point. I say connect. Do what you want to. But I'm saying if you don't do it, if you do it before then, it's going to lead to heartbreak. Now, somebody told me the other day, somebody said, well, coach, they ain't going to wait. They're not going to wait nowadays. I said, well, if they don't wait, you know what he wanted. Because if he can't wait, he simply wanted sex. Then good riddance. That's good for you because now you are not tied down. Now you are not emotionally invested in something that is going to take you down a path. That's just the truth. Listen, y'all, let's start here. For those of you who say, you know what, coach, I need to join that challenge. What she said, what he heard, the art of communicating with a man. I put the link here. Let me put the link back in the comment section again. For those of you who want to start now, who want to have a better dating experience, who want to stop picking the wrong guy, who want to learn how to communicate with a guy and get him to open up. You want us to be able to resolve conflict. Have you ever wanted to say something to a guy, but you didn't say it because you didn't know how he was going to react, or you just didn't know how to say it? If that's you, you need to join. 90% of people that I coach are poor communicators. How do I know? Because I give them the litmus test. I said, okay, have you ever wanted to say something, but you didn't because you didn't know how he was going to react or you didn't know how to say it? And they say, yeah. I said, then you're a poor communicator. You're a poor communicator at that point. So now what I want y'all to do is I want you all to decide. All right. If anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, um, what I want y'all to do is I'm gonna put the link here. I want you to go join that challenge. If you have questions about the challenge, I'm gonna put the link right here, and I want you to join me. Come on, and let's. If you have a question, comment, concern, I just put the StreamYard link right there in the comment section. And what I want you to do, if you have any questions about anything you want to ask Coach about tonight, he said this is all so accurate. Lord, so much time wasted down the rabbit hole. When it's good, the further we go down the rabbit. Okay, when it isn't good, we go down the rabbit. I know it. And you know what, Glenda? The Buddhist proverb simply says, when the student is ready, the coach will appear. Some of y'all, I'm your coach, but some of y'all, I'm not. But the truth is, either way, I want to empower you. I want to impact you. So if anybody wants to come backstage, here the link is there. Any questions, comments, concerns about anything? If you want to ask any kind of question, if you just want to talk, let's talk. All right. If not, I'm gonna hang on for a couple of minutes. If not, then I'm glad that we can share this time together. I'm glad, and then we'll make it work. We will make this work. All right, y'all. Anybody there? Anybody there? I think. Can y'all see the link? Can y'all see the link? All right, I got a link. I mean, can y'all? Everybody say yes, no, yes. We can see the link. Okay. All right. I mean, can one person jump over and say, hey, normally, y'all, I have people lined up. All right, well, jump on. I just put the link down there, Miss Nali. I put the link down. Do you see it? Okay, there goes somebody that says Star Angel. Let's see who this is. All right. Hello, welcome to the show. You on mute? Hello. Can you unmute yourself? Okay. Can you Star? All right. Whoever it was, they hung up. All right, dang. Anybody else want to get on? All right, anybody else before I go? Hey, Sharon,
Hi, Coach.
how are you? How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. Can you hear me good?
I can hear you quite well.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm
What's
good.
good?
I know, right? What's good? All is good. All is good.
All right, you got a question, comment, concern?
I just wanted to share something with you. I just moved to Charleston last year.
Okay.
And I started talking to somebody, but he ghosted me the first week. So I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't do no return calls, no nothing. When he finally did call me, he was very straight up with what he wanted, and I knew it was sex. And I was
Okay.
like, we're not doing that. So he barely calls. He barely calls. But when he does, it's his thing is, I'm just trying to see, and
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
wanna.
And I get that sometimes people are trying to see, but he made it clear what he wants. So
Yes, he did. And that's why I was like, okay, I can respect that. You made it very clear what you wanted. So then he went from I'm not seeing to nobody to recently I said, so you're not seeing nobody? He's like, I'm talking to somebody. So I said, oh, but he had time to call and talk to somebody else, but he can't communicate with me. So I was like, okay, I'm just moving on.
well, good for you. All right, good for you. All right, I love it. I love it. I love it. All
Yeah.
right, I'm proud of you. All
Yeah.
right.
That's it.
All right, baby. Take care.
You too.
Okay. All right. All right, that's good. Let's see. Glenda, welcome to the show.
Hi,
Hello, how are you?
I'm
You can't you
good.
can't you can't turn on your camera?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I got you.
I caught you.
You probably in the
Just
bed. I got no, that's
listen.
cool.
I caught you on a whim, so I chimed in late.
Okay, no,
So
that's
I'm not
cool. That's cool.
appropriate right now.
I got you. I got you. You had a comment, concern, question? Tell me.
I have a question.
Sure.
Um, so I have, well, my other rabbit hole person, I cut that off because I understood what it was. So that was on me. But the gentleman I'm seeing now is an old friend. We've reconnected, but we live in two different states at the time. And so a lot of our communication seems to be via text, and it's making it difficult to build like that. Um, he travels a lot. Our schedules are very busy, but I'm trying to help him understand the importance of voice and hearing each other, not just texting so much, in order to build something, if that's where we're going.
I think that's a good idea because truth is you cannot build a relationship of substance via text, direct messages because it's devoid. And I talk about this in my communication course I just finished because it's devoid of 93% of our communication. Think about it. No gestures, no facial expressions, no tone of voice, and all of that. So all of that is missing. You can't. And then they say 60% is nonverbal gestures, facial expressions. 33% is tone of voice, and it's 7% is what we actually say. And then you reduce it even more when you just talk about text.
Right. So, how do I navigate this?
How do you navigate it?
Yeah.
Well, do y'all? You're going to have to learn how to communicate and express to him in a way what's important to you.
Okay.
That's just. I'm just being honest. How long have y'all been seeing each other?
Um, since April of last year, so almost a year. The end of this month will be a year.
So
Um,
April of last year.
hmm
Okay.
Well, we reconnected around then, but we've made it like official that we're seeing each other probably September.
Okay. September.
hmm
All right. And so when has he been? When has the communication problems been there? Were they there at the beginning? Has he always been this way?
He's always been this way since we connected. He'll make effort when I'm like, listen, I'm not doing this text thing, or I'll just stop texting. Um,
So
or
so
if a
you just
problem arises.
so you just told me something.
hmm
You've been enabling him.
Okay.
So what you got to do is you said he stands up, and when you say I cannot tolerate it because I can't do, and my needs aren't being met. When you express it from a standpoint of your needs aren't being met, and you, because the only time you express it is when you get mad. You be like, I ain't doing this. Am I right? Am I right, Glenda?
Right. When I get frustrated.
When you get
Yes.
frustrated. So
Mm-hmm.
now you got to understand, learn how to communicate your needs and say,
Okay.
for me, the truth is, my need is to communicate this way. I feel connected when we do blank. I feel connected when this happens in our relationship. And the truth is, you've allowed him to communicate that long that way. And so when you allow that, now all of a sudden he has grown accustomed to doing it that way and no different.
Okay.
You follow me?
Yes, and you're right. You know,
Oh yeah, I already know that part.
thinking back over past relationships, you're right. I don't express
You need to get
my
in my
needs.
salads for real. I
I
mean,
do.
yeah, you need to click that link and you need to get in it or go to the front of my YouTube page. You'll say, check out my latest challenge. And there's a button right there. You can click it. Click
Okay.
the button, join it. I'm telling you. But anyway, but that's what I would do.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate you. Thank you
All
so
right.
much for
Thank you for everything. Have a good night.
you do the same. All right. All right. Let's see. Niley in the building. Oh, Niley, look, yeah, we caught her, y'all. Y'all see she way over there.
Hello.
Hey, Niley, how are you?
It's Niley.
Niley, how are you? Now you looking mighty cute tonight. How
I'm
about
well. I'm well.
Good. Did you have a question, comment, or concern?
Yes. So, dated this guy for 3 months, and then right at the 3 month mark, he ghosted me, and I believe that he. I think I had an experience with a narcissist. I don't really know, but I think that I did my first time with a narcissist. So,
Why do you say he's a narcissist?
because of some of the characteristics that he portrayed. I see it now as I reflect back that those are some of the traits, the control, and accusing me of maybe I might cheat on him, showing his insecurities, and so just different things that he would say, and then he would say, "Oh, I'm just kidding," and I would always say, "Well, if you said it, that's what you meant." So I just
let me ask you this: did he ever try to put you down?
no, he never did.
Okay. All right. Did he ever um, say something to you that you knew was not true, and he tried to make you think it was?
Um, Other than just accusing me of cheating because he
That
can't
doesn't
find my
mean he's a
whereabouts.
narcissist, though. That could be he could be just insecure.
Okay. Well, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it was. And I don't think we dated long enough for me to kind of like really evaluate, but I just saw some traits of him. And so I thought, well, maybe he has that trait, but I just wasn't with him long enough to see everything.
Right. Okay.
But anyway, so my question is, and I think I already know the answer, but when he ended it, I left some of my items at his home. And so he said he was going to mail them to me, and it's been a month. And so I'm wondering if he's doing that so that I would reach out and follow up, or if he's just truly not going to send them back. I already consider it as a loss anyway, but just wanted to know your take on that.
It's possible he could be using that as a form of control to get you to reach out. Could be.
Okay. That's what I thought.
If it's been a month, it could be. Were you guys mad? Was he mad at you?
He was not. The only thing he was upset with me was so at his job, he works at a government job, and he received a sexual harassment charge for inappropriate behavior. So what he did was one of his coworkers sent him an email about a situation, and he responded back, "Good morning, sexy." and she filed a charge against him. And when he told me about it, I didn't know how to react. So I just said, well, you should have known better, or something like that. I said out of reaction. And he felt like I didn't support him.
Yeah, okay. But he ain't mad about the breakup.
No, I don't think he is.
I would say if you really want your stuff, reach out one more time and say, I'd like to set up a time where I can get my stuff or whatever. If not, if you just wrote it up as a loss, then, you know, I wouldn't, because he might be doing that as a form of control.
Yeah, I think I'm just not going to contact him at all. It's no contact. It's been a month, so I'm good.
I'm all right. If you're good with it, I'm good with that too.
I do want my stuff back, but I'm good.
Sometimes you gotta chalk that shit up as a loss.
Take one for the team.
Take one for the team. Appreciate you calling in. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Take
Bye-bye.
it easy. All right. Take one for the team. All right, y'all. Look, I'm about to get up out of here. I appreciate y'all tonight. Thank you for joining me. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with me tonight. Listen, to the next time. She said she'll give up the. Oh, Lord. All right, y'all. I'm out. Appreciate it. Take y'all. Take it easy. For those of you, join that challenge if you need it.